Oh yeah, coming up on LiveWire, we've got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking with Caverly Morgan from One House of Peace, and we're going to learn a little bit about meditation and consciousness and awareness and other good things. Then we're going to meet a bunch of guys who are responsible in part and in whole for the renovation of this beautiful 1887 mansion called the Governor's Mansion in downtown Sacramento, and learn about restoration and a party that you can attend and see the entire restored building. So stay tuned for LiveWire right after this. Her name is Caverly Morgan, and she's sitting right across from me. Hello.
Hello, Ray. Good to see you.
Good to see you. It's interesting. People who are walking around who are really not introduced to things like yoga or meditation really kind of wonder what is it? What good is it? I mean, a lot of Westerners, which the Easterners say, a lot of Westerners really don't think that there's much benefit to those things. And then those of us who have fallen into it by one reason or another, like me, I think my 6th year taking yoga, we know. We know what it's all about. And it's about being calm. It's about being limber. It's also about the way you think, and meditation's that way too, isn't it?
It is, and I appreciate that you said calm, limber, and the way you think, because I think in a meditation practice, that's what we're doing mentally. We're learning to be limber in the mind. What is flexibility and being limber in the mind look like?
Limber in the mind. I like it. So you were walking down the street one day a long time ago, and lightning hit you, and you said, I think I'm going to be a meditation specialist. Is that what happened? Or you fell off your bicycle and said, ouch.
Just like that. I would say more that I saw that something else was possible for my life. And through that insight, I became very passionate about what's required of a person to access what's beyond the everyday mundane world of stresses and believing that you're separate from life, feeling plagued by all the things we're plagued by.
Sure. That's what it is. We're talking about stress. I think you say stress and anger and all of the other stressors. You can go on and on and on for all the stressors that modern life throws upon us, and that puts you in a state of aware or consciousness of that's what it is. I'm an angry man, we say, or or he's tired because he's depressed.
Yeah.
And those are states of mind.
Yeah, I think so.
And meditation is a way of unwrapping all of that and saying, well, here it is.
Yeah, a way of unwrapping it, as well as seeing how do we get into those states. I mean, I think one of my favorite things about awareness practice is that these states of being that we fall into are processes. So through paying attention, we can really see, how did I get to that point where I threw a coffee mug through the window in my office?
My father threw a coffee mug through a window.
Something led up to that point. So really, a practice of consciousness allows us to really pay close attention to how we get to such states. And that's when, in my experience, we have choice about whether we really want to end up there or not.
Right. So as it's not really, there's kind of a psychology to it. But you're not a psychiatrist or a psychologist. You are a person who is well skilled in meditation practices. various kinds of meditation practices. Because I noticed that when I looked it up on the web, the best and deepest place to go. And it talked about the different kinds of meditation. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. So, it seems to me that we can access the mind of meditation through a lot of different forms. And I think that might be what you're pointing at. You mentioned yoga and practices that really focus on how we can have our attention in the body, being here, focusing the attention in the present moment. The kind of meditation that I teach and practice myself is sitting meditation that assists us in removing all distractions. So even if it's for 5 minutes a day, imagine yourself sitting down to just focus on your breath and just be still enough to see, what is the mind busy doing right now? How can I drop my consciousness into the experience of just breathing, just being?
And feeling the air move through your throat and come out your nose if you're breathing out your nose.
Being present. Which, what percentage of our day would we say we're actually fully present for? It's radical to have a practice that asks us to show up for the moment we're in, because so much in our world doesn't.
That's right. If she says this, I have to say this.
Right.
Yep. Sure. And so we kind of live in this kind of future shock, a future time of anticipating what that outer world wants of us.
Yeah. And those standards are all something that we stress over trying to meet. And often it goes unrecognized how stressful that is to walk around trying to meet all of these different conditioned standards, usually without questioning them.
So what do people tell you about the meditation process and their lives? How do they tell you, like, oh, I was saved, or are there really testimonials, or do they just find this calmness and go on about their lives?
I would say the real testimonial I hear from people who do awareness practice, who have a practice of sitting, it's not so much, oh, now I'm just calm all the time, because that's just trying to meet another conditioned standard. Oh, now the right person would be someone who's not angry. Well, maybe I'm angry sometimes. Can I be with that? The real testimonial is shifting the attention so that you don't feel like you're a victim to your life anymore. You're really watching how internal suffering happens in your life and choosing whether or not you want to participate in those processes. So it's a process of becoming empowered so that you can be present for the life you actually have, rather than being dragged through life circumstances feeling like falling into the temptation to blame life for your experience.
Right. Yeah, and people do that all the time.
Sure.
How to get into this job, they hate me, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important. I really like the way you describe the fact that, the life circumstances that we find ourselves in, we may not like, and there are ways to get closer to it and understand it. And,
sure.
Maybe not cop a negative attitude anymore, and find out, maybe a new direction.
Yeah, a new direction that is more free. To me, that's the real point of an awareness practice, that we have the opportunity to be free, and we're often not walking around in a state of internal freedom. So the testimonial is, how can I use my life circumstances to help me wake up, to help me be more present? And the people I talk to who practice a lot suddenly experience more joy and more satisfaction from feeling like life's on our side, rather than this is something I'm fighting against. I'm trying to control things within this experience of perhaps a feeling like we're on a sinking ship.
Yeah. It's interesting that we're talking about the positive benefits of the use of a meditation. And meditation can be for its own use,
Sure.
just for you to not think.
It's radical, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is.
How much of our day are we walking around just completely in the head, completely absorbed with whatever we're thinking about, and missing the moment we're in.
Yeah. So if people are listening to us right now on the radio, oh no, it's television. My goodness, they can see us.
We're being spied on.
Okay, that's right. So they're looking through this magical glass at us, and they think, yeah, I might like to try that, How can they do that?
I appreciate that right now we're living in an age where it's a lot more accessible to learn how to meditate. There are a lot of ways. You can Google meditation and get some information about meditation, and I'm sure that wasn't true, however many years ago. But in particular, since we're here in Sacramento, as you know, I started the nonprofit One House of Peace up in Portland, but we do have a Sacramento sitting group if anyone listening wanted to show up and receive some instruction and sit with other people and receive
when is that going to
support.
happen?
That's every Thursday night here at Simple Human Studios.
Okay, and that's where is that?
That is over Alhambra and G.
Alhambra and G, that's right down in Midtown or downtown.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, great.
Yeah.
Caverly Morgan, thank you so much for coming to talk to me about these things. We had a little time, but I think we used it well, did you?
Very much so. Thank you very much, Ray. It's great to talk to you.
Well, okay, we got to take a pause for the cause right now. Some short messages for you, and then we'll be back to talk about one of the great treasures of this 250-year-old city. And we'll be talking with some gentlemen who are helping to keep it for our heritage. So stay tuned for LiveWire after this. I saw the red light go on.
Thanks for calling the GED Pep Talk Center. Jerry Siller speaking. Your level 7 in-your-face pep talk.
I can keep pushing you. Believe me, I'm good at it. But at some point, you're going to need to start pushing yourself.
See, once you've got your GED diploma, you'll feel so good about yourself.
You tell them. You can't change your past, but you can definitely change your future.
That makes me so happy, I'm ready to bust out a dance.
Mr. Trejo, can I transfer this guy to you? My gentle technique isn't really working. You need something a little more...
persuasive?
Yes.
You listen, and you listen good.
Hey, where's my sandwich? Terry? Terry!
Take it from me to King DMC. It's a real cool thing to get your GED.
Get that diploma!
Now hold on and we'll find you free GED classes. Capiche?
Whatever motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Get your GED pep talk and find free classes at yourged.org.
Hey, I'm Anderson Cooper. As a parent, you want to make sure that your child knows how to deal with bullying when they see it happening. And chances are they want to help, but they don't really know how. I'll teach them that the best thing to do is calmly walk away, find a teacher or other adult, and speak up. And do your part. Be that adult they can talk to and trust will listen. Join me to help stop bullying. Go to stopbullying.gov to find out more.
One of the great state parks gems is a beautiful Victorian mansion, a really romantic mansion in the downtown of Sacramento that celebrates the use of